Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari and today I want to give you 5 powerful reasons for you to practice mindfulness to keep your mind in the here and now when the going gets tough, when there's pain, when there's tribulation. People think that being in the here and now can only be good if things are good. They think that, no, surely if things are bad, then it should be good for us to not be in the here and now. For my mind to wander to the past and remember better times. Or for my mind to go in the future and fantasize about better times. But no, it never works like that. It's never better to get out of the here and now. And so today I want to give you 5 reasons why that's true. Now, the first reason is that we have to learn to separate the emotional component of a situation from the situation itself. This is a great little insight for you, which you can use almost every day of your life. So a lot of times we mix the two. There's a situation and there's the emotional component of the situation. And we think they're one thing, but if you practice mindfulness, if you put your mind and observe the actual situation, observe your body and your mind, you can start detaching one thing from the other. And so what you'll see is, here's a situation which I have to deal with. And here are the emotions that I have attached to this situation. Now, I do not need these negative emotions of fear, anxiety, embarrassment, whatever it is. I don't need these emotions. They're actually not giving me anything I need right now. What I do need is to deal with the situation. So think about that from now on and see this power you have to separate the two. Let the emotion flow away. If you just observe the emotion, the physiological reactions that emotion is bringing to your body, it can go away in as little as 90 seconds. That's the time it takes for your body to process the chemical changes that your brain created from that emotion. These just chemical signals. Things were liberated, they go into your blood, and they will be removed. So you don't have to think that that emotion is actually part of reality. It's not. It's just an interpretation, some chemicals, and now it's gone. So then you're left with the actual situation. A good example of that is when you hear about something happening with somebody else, even if it's like, somebody you're not too attached with, somebody, you hear about your neighbor, somebody you hear, somebody at work, or in the news, so-and-so, they had a car crash. So you're like, oh man, really, that's terrible. But your mind, you're not like flooded with emotions, right? You're not flooded with fear and this and that, right? You're just like, oh, okay, so there was a car crash. And immediately you're like, oh, so how do we deal with that, right? I mean, does that person need some help? Maybe I can take this insurance. Have you noticed that? And then your mind immediately goes just like solution-based. And you're not drowning in negative emotions, uselessly making you go crazy. You're just like, okay, so how do I deal with this? How do I help this person out? What's the best step moving forward now from this? And then you see the same problem is like now much less problematic. Second thing, do not fall into the habit. It's called, when you have a catastrophe, catastrophization. You think everything is bad. So we have this habit when maybe one thing is bad and maybe there's another thing that's bad, then we think, oh, everything is a catastrophe. So this is actually a psychological term. You start thinking that everything is a problem. Everything is a catastrophe. And it's never like that. It's never true that it's everything. And if you keep your mind focused in the here and now mindfulness, if you really focus your mind, okay, let's be completely present here in my life. This thing happened, this challenge has occurred. I'm going through this difficulty. But I can equally identify in the here and now all these other things which are fine. Some of them are great. Some of them are really good, like maybe you still have a beautiful house, maybe you still have food, you're not hungry, you're healthy. And so yeah, you had a problem with your spouse, or you had a divorce or something, or maybe you lost your job, but you still have all these other things. You're still healthy. You still have a beautiful family or something. You have a beautiful pet. I mean, the sky is still there. Maybe it's a beautiful blue day, blue skies. And so there's all these good things going on. So you don't generalize, oh, everything's a catastrophe, everything's a disaster. That's an emotional response. If you're clear-headed in the mindfulness, in the here and now, you can see, okay, this is something I have to deal with, and maybe that as well, but this is fine, and I'm very grateful for these other things. It's very important to practice gratitude, to be focused in gratitude of all the wonderful things going on now, despite the challenge that you're now facing. 3, and this is the issue here, bring your mind to the action. So you want to bring your mind to what's the next step, not the situation. Oh, I lost my job, I can't believe it, I don't have a job. No, that's the situation. What is the action that is required from you? That means your mind has to be in the here and now. You're not like, oh, this might happen, now I don't have a job, and all these horrible things will occur to me, and I'm so embarrassed as well. No, forget all that. That's not being in the here and now. That's not practicing mindfulness. What you have to do is, okay, mind in the here and now. What is my next step? I have to sit down, I have to make a plan, and the plan has to have a first step which I can execute right away. And that's what you focus on. That's mindfulness. You're in the here and now. And then you notice that big problem is now just a path. It's just the path you're on. It's not a problem. This is just life happening. And now you have all these wonderful opportunities. You have these new actions that are required, new paths to take. And the emotional component, the fear, the regrets, all that stuff doesn't exist in the here and now. 4, always remember there are wonderful things going on. Always keep your mind focused on gratitude. Don't let an event bring you down into a dark space of depression. Just by using gratitude. Always remember that there's something good happening. Always focus on that. Because you lost your job, it doesn't mean you can't stop and appreciate a beautiful sky, a beautiful flower. Appreciate your good health. Just breathing in, just the joy of being able to breathe. Just be thankful you can breathe. Be thankful you're not starving. Be thankful you have a bed and hot water, that you have water at all. I mean, just so many things to be thankful of. So you can bring your mind to the here and now throughout the day and seeing all the wonderful things that happen on anybody's day. I mean, even if you're in a concentration camp in North Korea, which you're probably not because you wouldn't be watching this, but if there's going to be a blue sky, there's going to be something to focus on. That's not horrible. There's always that. 5, and for those who have activated their spirituality, who have especially activated bhakti, devotion, by being in the here and now is when you can make that real connection. You can't connect for real with God if your mind's in the past, reviewing some memory, or if your mind's in the future, fantasizing about some plans you have. You have to be here to be fully present, where you can experience that infinite love of God, where you can experience the infinite bliss of contact with God. That can only happen in the here and now. And especially if things are tough, if you're going through some difficulty, that's when you really want to maintain that contact that security, that feeling, that love. You really want to maintain that connection, bhakti, yoga, connection in devotion during those moments. So let me know if this makes sense to you. I'd like to hear your comments. And as always, if you have any other questions you'd like me to talk about, also you can leave your comments below. And have the rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.